Hey, I'm Bruno Pedreira, Forage and Crop Livestock Specialist at Kansas State University.
Hello everyone, my name is Lilian Silva. I'm the Forage Specialist for Clemson University.
Hello, my name is Marcelo Valal. I'm the Forage Extension Specialist with the University of Florida.
So in this video we will learn more about grazing management, but first we need to understand that there are differences on grazing management options, and also some differences across livestock species and even livestock categories. For example, behind me in this field we have some 1 year old, actually a little more than a year old for some of them, steers. So they are really becoming that transition of becoming bulls now, and it's gonna be something that you need to take in consideration when you're going to be working on your grazing management and also the forage species that you're going to be using, just to make sure that you're going to be meeting the needs for nutrients and for forage mass as well for those animals.
This is right, Liliane. And the reason we bring this up here is because when you're designing your grazing systems, you need to be aware of the animal and the plant's requirements, so we can pick the plants that will help us to meet the requirements, the production and the nutritional requirements of your herd. If you have questions about it, reach out to your local extension officer. They will be able to help you. Same for questions about grazing management, infrastructure, workload, and the skill sets that will be required for management.
So like I said, there's a wide range of combinations of for grazing management strategies and ways that you could be, methods as well that you could be using. And this is going to be something that you can rely on different methods. For example, stocking, rotational stocking versus strip grazing, or some other options as well. And you can adjust and use for different forage systems that you have throughout the year as well on your operation. So it is really important to measure the forage mass that you have on an area before you adjust your stocking rate, and this is going to help you to avoid situations where you are going to undergraze, which means that you're not going to be using that forage to the efficiency that you could, or situations where you would be overgrazing as well. There are different ways that you can measure the forage mass on a forage system, and one of the ways is to just use a pasture ruler, a grazing stick, that will have you measuring different parts of the field to estimate how many pounds of grazable forage you have there. Another option is to use a disc meter or a plate meter that you're going to need to collect, to harvest some forage samples, to calibrate the measurements that you're doing across the field. And there are more information about this on our webpage, and we're going to be linking some extension guidelines below this video for you to learn more about this method.
When we are talking about grazing methods, there will be pros and cons, right? In continuous grazing, the cost of fences and water distribution, for example, will be lower, but the grazing efficiency will be lower as well. It happens because having access to the whole pastures, the animals will be the ones making the grazing decisions, right? Overgrazing or undergrazing. On the other hand, in the rotational grazing, there is a need for high investment and much more control, right? In these situations, farmers will decide where the animals is going to be grazing and which frequency and intensity will be grazing those pastures. And it's especially important for plants that will have the chance to regrow without being grazed,